Hey YouTube, I'm Positively Udo, and I want to share something I've come to realize. And I think maybe if you're the child of an immigrant parent, you probably can relate to this. I've come to realize that my life has been about one thing, and that is to make my parents happy, to find acceptance, to find whatever language of love I was looking for. And I'm stopping that. Finally. Here's what I mean. When I was young, all I cared about was making my parents happy. I mean, as a kid, obviously you play and whatever, but whenever it came to making decisions, I made my decisions based on what would make mommy and daddy proud, what would make mommy and daddy happy. Like, for example, I signed up for UIL as a kid. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. UIL is just a state competition that we have here in Texas. Academic state competition. And there was a category called storytelling. You could only choose one category to compete in. And we have a category called storytelling. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to do that. But I thought, my parents are going to think that's weird. They're not going to support that. Nothing else looks fun. But I guess I'll do math. That'll make my parents happy. That's the earliest decision I remember. And that's based on making my parents happy. Completely ignoring what I wanted. And it continued like that. And it was very unsatisfying because my parents were rarely happy with me. I rarely felt like my parents were proud of me. I rarely felt like my parents were happy with me. Most of the time I felt like my mom just, I don't want to say despised me, but most of the time I just felt like I was a disappointment. And I remember the narrative as a kid being, no matter how hard I try, I'm not good enough. And me making decisions based on making my parents happy was just me really trying to just finally be good enough. Until I was 16, I wanted to try it for the drill team, and my mom said no. So I didn't. I really wanted to. I love dance, and I wanted to explore it and perform and wear the cute outfits and be trained for free. But a semester later, my mom picks me up, and sometimes I stare off into the distance. I don't do that so much now, but when I was a kid and a teen, I did it all the time. Just staring out the window, thinking, philosophizing. My mom's like, "What are you thinking? What are you thinking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just wish I could have done drill team." She's like, "Why can't you?" I was like, "I didn't audition." "You have to audition." She's like, "Well, why didn't you audition?" And I was like, because you told me not to. She's like, oh, I didn't know that's what that was for. Yeah. You totally, yeah. That's something, you could do that. And I was like, well, it's too late now. I was this close to chewing her head off. That's when I decided. I made a decision that day. I was so livid. I was so mad. I gave up something that I am passionate about because I thought it would make you happy, only to find out that you don't even care. You don't even care. It meant nothing to you. But I'm the one who has to forever wish. I have to forever have this regret. Screw this. I'm going to do what I want from now on. But I still wanted them to be happy. So I did what I wanted secretly. Everything I did that I wanted was a secret. And I was hoping I could do both. I was hoping that I could live a life that I wanted and then put on a facade to make my parents happy. Even into college, I had a secret major. I majored in computer science, and I was secretly also taking philosophy classes and got a degree in philosophy. And I did not tell them until literally graduation, because then they would see, wait, why are you in 2 graduation ceremonies? Yeah, so I kept that a secret until then. And my dad was just like, 2 degrees? Okay. I was like, yes, it's too late. You can't say anything. You can't say anything because I already did it. But that was my life. I had a secret life where I did what I wanted to do. And then I had a double life where I was trying to pretend like I could be the perfect daughter. But I never was. Never. I was never good enough. Never. 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 I never did anything right. Especially to my mom. No matter how hard I tried, nothing seemed to make her happy. So I just kept living this double life without even realizing it. It just became second nature. Until I met the love of my life. And he's not from our culture. And he just got his associate's degree. He doesn't even have his bachelor's degree. And my mom doesn't take kindly to that. It's bad enough he's not from our culture, but he also doesn't have a bachelor's degree, and not okay. And so I kept trying to mollify her. I kept, I encouraged him to take classes, but also we're in business. And it's a crucial time in the business where if we don't put pedal to the metal now, we're going to miss out on a huge opportunity. So we're trying to juggle all of it. And it wasn't working. It wasn't working. So we kind of gave up on the school thing because we were just so focused on business. And I would just try to keep it a secret. Until I realized that I've been depressed for like a year. Like, I've been depressed for almost a year. Like, yeah. I've been depressed for this entire year so far. And my mom asked me when my partner is getting his degree. Like, when's the graduation date? And I was like, whoa, I haven't thought about that in a while. I don't care about that. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Because I was still running this program in my head of living a double life. Living a life where I'm happy and I make my own decisions, and living a life where I make her happy. And I realized there's nothing to say. There's nothing I can say that will make her happy. And you know what? There's nothing I've ever said that made her happy. Most importantly, I mentally cannot handle this. I can't. It is a struggle for me to make my own decisions, let alone also juggle trying to please somebody else with my life. Trying to use my life to make both myself happy and somebody else happy. I am struggling to live my life in a way that makes me happy. I cannot handle also trying to use my life to make somebody else happy. I can't do it. I just broke down in my mind. I can't do it. I cannot juggle this happiness game anymore. F it. It's never deemed a good result anyway. Never. Maybe 3 times when I was a kid. Maybe 3 times there were moments where I hugged my mom and there was so much joy. And she says, I'm proud of you. Other than that, never happens. It's just the same old, same old. She always has something to complain about. The same old, same old. And at this point in my life, I cannot handle it. I make myself unhappy and I'm struggling to handle my reaction. I do not have the emotional or mental capacity to also handle somebody else. So I told her, we don't care about that anymore. Sorry. And she's very upset. And it's like, well, I have nothing else to tell you. You have the right to feel how you feel. But I can't make you happy. I cannot make you happy. And it's not my responsibility. It's not. I'm reading this book called The Narcissistic Family. And it's not about having narcissist parents. It's about what happens when the child feels that they are responsible for fulfilling the parent's needs. This happens a lot. It messes up the child in different ways, depending on what needs the child felt like they were needing to fulfill. Like, there's some kids that felt like they need to fulfill their parents' sexual needs. That's a huge F up. And there's other people like me that feel like they have to serve their parents' emotional needs. And that's its own kind of F up. And it's taken me this long to take that from an intellectual concept that I understand to actually what's in here and what I'm committed to. I am no longer committed to living my life that makes my mom happy. I am committing to living my own life however best I can. At the moment, I've been dealing with very bad depression, anxiety, old friends. I'm doing everything I can to improve that situation. And this realization I made is a part of that improvement. Finally, I'm not just saying this. Finally, I'm actually feeling this. So I wanted to share that because I know maybe somebody out there is going through the same thing. And here's the thing. I'm in my late 20s. I'm almost 30. That's how long it took me. That's how long it took me to finally get to this point. So hopefully you're younger than me so you can enjoy more of your youth. And if you're older, it's never too late. You're still alive. You're still here on this earth. You still have the freedom and resources to even be watching me on your computer screen or phone. So it's definitely not too late. Here's to life, you guys. And if you want more, subscribe to this channel. A big shout out to those supporting this channel over on patreon.com/UDOKA. And until next time, much love, much like, peace out.